Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for joining in. Oh, my Mass Effect has gone and died. There we go. I hope everyone is okay in chat. I hope my mic is sounding okay. I just got my mic, my mic wire just tangled like 4 different times, and then it was crushed by the mic arm a little bit, and I hope I'm sounding alright to everyone. It's just like, every time I tried to move it, it just kept getting stuck on another thing. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Of breaking Gallade. No echo attending. Excellent, excellent. There's good things. I have no idea what we're playing today. We are playing Mass Effect 2, not Mass Effect 3. We are in Mass Effect 2 at the moment. We do have the sub goal to hit for Mass Effect 3. So we've got 17 more subs to hit before we do start the Mass Effect 3 playthrough. But at the moment we are Mass Effect 2. We are maybe like 2/3, 3/4 of the way through the game, depending on how long. Because like we've done all the loyalty missions apart from the one. I know, yeah. That unexpected, eh? Yeah, we've got one loyalty mission left to do today, which is Legions. John. And then we will have, I think after that, it just then amps up into like the finale few missions. But we will see if Karl is online. He is maybe online, so I'll give him a call. I've given him the heads up that we'll be live soon, so we'll see. Stream specific rewards need adding. Thank you very much. I will sort that now. Feed them fish. Paragon mode and renegade mode. Thank you very much. No, definitely not. It's definitely not harassment at all to like let me know that the rewards I'm meant to have on for Mass Effect need to be turned on. It's a good thing. Thank you.
There we go. All sorted.
He's in. And hi Fish, thank you for joining. No, you're definitely not harassing when I've just forgotten to turn on those viewer rewards. But remember, you know, if you want to influence our shepherd, as Fish is just doing right now, you can use those rewards to either go renegade mode or paragon mode, and each reward gives you 200 points towards the contribution of one or the other.
Yeah, I feel that's a good gimmick, but we've mostly just been a bit of a bastard.
Mostly, but I feel like we've had a couple of moments where it's like paid off, where it's like, oh no, we get to be nice shepherd for a little bit. But I think we all kind of agreed that we roughly want to mostly be renegade. But hell yeah, Ross is happy to do some proxy contributions. As not long ago we did change it so that everyone is like got a limited amount of uses, so that people with a lot of points don't have the ability to constantly just steamroll. But yeah, thank you for the offer, Ross.
Oh man, do you want me to tell you someone who went for a renegade option?
Was it you today?
No. Is that a reference to something that we talked about?
No, it wasn't
earlier?
a reference to anything. I'm just waiting for like the moment where Karl was, yeah, I just, today I was not in a great mood, just pushed someone out of the gym window.
No, it's whoever wrote the descriptions for the assessments in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I've just been fighting one of the super bosses, and the super boss killed me like instantly 5 times in a row.
Oh wow!
And what am I doing wrong? And I look it up, and it's like, oh yeah, the description tells you to do the thing that the assessment tells you to do to avoid its ultimate kill attack actually fuels the internal meter to set off its ultimate kill attack.
Fabulous!
Like, great,
fabulous, great.
Like, do you remember when we played through Final Fantasy VII and just like half the materia descriptions just aren't accurate?
They just aren't correct, and like the way they explained parrying just wasn't right. Or like there is a parry in the game, but the way it terms like Yuffie's parry, that's not a parry, but she does have a parry.
Yep.
But the thing that is a parry, they don't call a parry, and the thing that they call a parry is just like a better block, not an actual full parry.
Yep. Also, they don't tell you how synergy materia works.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
yeah.
one of the optional super bosses that I tried challenging is like insta kill me. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Oh, the game tells you to do the exact opposite thing to what you're supposed to do.
They really need to work on that shit, because that was a big problem in like Final Fantasy Remake and then Intermission as well.
Yeah, the amount of times where just like the game straight up lies to you.
Also,
Oh, Lucas was playing some Zelda again. We're in the Sea of Storms.
Sea of Storms, we are. Just like, we are at Heretic Station, Karl.
Oh, so this is like my favourite mission in the game then, yeah?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Is this the Legion mission? I've only just tuned in.
It is the Legion mission, yes. Legion, as I just referred to him. So yeah, also, Red Hawk, that sounds fucking scary, of just like Gallade just coming in and being like, I'm gonna rock your world. Like, I really like Gallade, and the, like, Mega Gallade potential makes me very happy. But like, I always found Gallade it's just too low tier to do anything. But I'd be happy to see you prove that wrong.
I always thought Gallade was really. Actually, no, Gallade's probably like a noob trick. It looks really powerful because of its typing and moves, but it's probably really easily exploitable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to take tally on this mission.
We have to.
You took Legion on hers, like return the favor.
Yeah, it's like, just, I feel as though Gallade wasn't great, and then it also, like, the fairy typing happened, and that's when Gallade just disappeared. Gallade got sharpness for an ability, so Psycho Cat gets a 50% boost. Oh.
Yes, it's got some shit now. Not a lot of shit, but some shit.
Okay, I didn't realize it had gotten any like, additional abilities, so that's kind of cool. It's one of those where I know that it's not so good because I haven't like seen anybody talk about Gallade still, but the fact that it got something is nice. Yeah, I'm just waiting on it getting that Geth shield boost, so that'll be what? That's 10 points. So let's put 5 into AI hacking. That is the problem right now, is all three of us are just... Oh, well, what are we doing? We're AI hacking. Oh, fuck it, let's just give him the full potential. And that's great on these two missions. But if the Tally Shepherd Legion combo goes in on any other than these two missions, of like the Tally and the Legion missions,
there's nothing they can do. Yeah,
there's just zero chances to in anything done. But for these two missions, all three of us can just be like, let's fuck up some Geth.
Like, this is actually a super strong combo of just like, you have the anti-Geth team, the Geth don't exist anymore team.
Oh, one of the best moments.
So this is like one of my favourite conversations. Just like this little bit of like, there's more world building in this conversation with Legion than there is in anything in Star Wars.
Windows are structural weaknesses. Geth, do not use them. Approach the hull at these coordinates. Access
it's
achieved.
Just said so matter of fact as well, because it's just fucking Legion.
As well, because it makes so much sense. Like, Legion doesn't even need to correct, like, jokes like, well, why don't I look out a window? It's like, why would we have a window, you fucking idiot? We ain't got eyes. We don't have eyes.
But
alert. This
does prove that they should have had something else in line.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The only thing that could possibly get past them is the one ship that they don't know exists.
It's like, well, our heating is being like stealth. The Normandy is like a really fast, really stealthy ship. And it's like, oh, but you know, they could just see us. It's like, well, we never thought there would be a reason to look outside.
Yeah. We scan everything and just use scans because everything gives off like a base level of like radiation or some sort of like energy we can sense. Your ship doesn't. Your ship is an anomaly, and we can take advantage of that.
And it's a shame. I don't think that the low gravity thing comes into effect in this mission. It's like,
not really.
Yeah, we don't really have air or gravity on this place because we don't require either of them.
Won't we be detected? Don't they have intrusion
We do
alarms?
have corridors that are roughly our
Sensors have
size,
been
though.
reduced. We have infiltrated their wireless network and filled the data storage with random bits.
Hell yeah, Shadow. Well done. 10 weeks is no small feat for sure.
It is indeed. So after 2 weeks is the hump.
It's always like, I know they say like 3 days is the first one, isn't it? And then like a couple of weeks after that.
Like everything that you can ask Legion, ask him, because everything he says is fascinating.
I'm just trying to catch up, and because I was reading chat and just reading what they were saying, yeah.
About like the wireless
And
network.
that helps us how?
The heretics must scrub this junk data. They have partitioned themselves into local networks, working in parallel. Any alarm we trigger will not go beyond the room we are in.
Okay,
Only
so yeah,
access to
they
the
have
main
alarms,
floor
but
will trigger
because
a
we've sent so
statewide
much
alert.
shit their way,
We've got a job to do.
they'll
Let's
only
get to it.
notice
Shepard
that we're
Commander.
in one room.
We concluded that destruction of this station was the only resolution to the heretic question. There is now
It's
a second
so
option.
interesting.
Their
Mhm.
virus can
Like
be
that.
repurposed.
Everything
If
in
released
Mass
to the station's
Effect
network,
is explained.
the heretics will
Like,
be
obviously some of it is done
accept
purely for the
our
room of cool.
Exactly, yeah, and some of it is
Well,
dumb, but the fact that they attempt to explain almost everything whenever you've got a question.
Yeah, it's if you ask, like, why is the Death Star a big circle? Why is it shaped like a Death Star? Because that's what George Lucas looked cool.
Because you know what? It looks real fucking cool. And it's not even, like, you could have said, like, oh, well, you know, it blends in better with, like, other planets, and it seems more of, like, just a random orbitary planet or something, or, like, a small moon. Whereas, if it was the size of a big ship, then people would notice it easier, or something like that. And it doesn't have to be the best, you know, excuse, but it could be an excuse.
I think just that one line from Legion of, do you have windows? No. We don't have eyes.
Yeah.
Like when you talked to me about last episode, where it's just, how do you communicate? And he goes, well, we communicate like with ones and twos.
You can't romance Legion.
He's your bro, though.
That, you know, you can fall in love on a logical level. And I think there's like half of your crew that you can romance in this game, maybe more.
We have not yet reached
It's a good amount. There's a good number of people you can, but like Legion's just a robot, so no. There's no exhaust port, unfortunately.
There is not an exhaust port big enough. There's a hole in his chest. Just get your hand in there. Feel his wires a little bit.
It's so weird to say they're just machines. That's an option to Legion. It's so weird how like you can talk like this to him.
Don't apply our morality to them.
I love how the red eyes coming through.
You agree with that?
I just noticed that a little bit. It does look kind of funny.
All must be judged on their own merits. Treating every species like one's own is racist. Even benign anthropomorphism.
Oh, Legion dropping the racist line. Like, not the racist line, but the line about racism of like, well, to just view every single species as if they were your own, that's racist. I mean, yeah, it's more like speciesist, but...
I appreciate that, like, Legion just is completely pragmatic about it, and he's like, even my pure logical race that only sees, like, everything in terms of, like, net positive and benefits, being racist is really stupid. It makes no logical sense.
And he's like, okay, to us, it seems like a bad look to treat Geth as if they are not really a problem to kill, because guess what? They're not organic life, so that doesn't matter to us. But he's like, okay, but to you, that is logical and makes perfect sense. So I can't disagree with that, because I can't just tell you that your way of thinking is wrong. He's like, if your morality systems tell you that synthetic life does not matter, then I have to go along with, like, what you say.
I will say, though, it's a bit racist to my robo-bros, if you will.
But in his eyes, it's also racist to completely just ignore the opinions of Shepard and tell Shepard that the human way of thinking is wrong. He's like, that's also racist.
The thing is, he's calling you out, but in such a classy way, where if you like didn't pick up on what he's saying, you might not even realize that he's like
They are
giving you some
commuting through the
shit.
station's central computer.
Yeah, the crew of software, they are communing through the station's computers.
I'm not sure
I
I
love that about
follow.
the guest.
The heretics
Tell me
connect
more.
to the
Always
main
tell me
computer
more.
to exchange data memories and program updates. We gain complexity by linking
Oh yeah.
together.
I hope you also
To
saw
be
the
isolated within a single platform
the
is to
little
be
Daisy
reduced.
gif that I
We
sent
see
over
less,
in the Discord as
comprehend
well.
less.
I
It
like
is
looking after a
private.
little chihuahua this
If
week.
you exchange data,
Oh my god, you got a
memories,
chihuahua
how
and
do
two
you keep
sausage dogs.
track
Like,
of
what is
Yeah.
what is the
yours?
sound in your apartment
How
right now?
do you
It's just
stay you?
it's just like,
There is only
you
we.
know,
We
sausages
were
and
created to share
chipolatas.
data among
The sausage
ourselves.
factories
The difference between
gaining
them
production,
is
Karl.
perspective. We are many
That's the
eyes
thing is
looking
there's
at the
like there's
same
so
things.
much dog in our
One
house right
platform
now,
will see things
but also
another does
so
not,
little because they're all
and will
so
make
small.
different judgments.
Yeah.
They still
Like the
take up
amount.
0 space. We are many eyes looking at the same things. One platform will see things another does not, and we will make different judgments.
I wonder if this could be applied to the way we see problems, Lucas.
Hmm.
If, like, you know, our shared
Rewriting
experiences,
a
but our
heretic's
own
not big a
individual
deal.
experiences
They're
might
like a
colour the
rogue
way we
limb
see
of your own
something.
body. Rewriting them would be like reattaching a severed arm.
To use your metaphor, they removed themselves from our body, took their perspective, their judgment.
Their judgment sucks. I like that idea. Well, okay, to use your metaphor of like, oh, like, you basically have like lost a limb. He's like, no, the limb removed itself and fucked off.
Yeah, the limb's just going out and doing bad stuff.
Every point of view is useful, even those that are wrong, if we can judge why a wrong view was accepted. For
Oh,
example,
listen to
we
this.
found the
The
casual
thing is, he's so right
self-destructance of
about everything.
organics useful in
Because
analyzing
that's the
Like-
thing is,
processes.
it's always
Yes.
like useful and logical and makes sense to try and figure out why someone else saw reason and acceptance in their wrong viewpoint.
Yes, to prevent it from happening. It's like that is the Geth equivalent of
We
those
can
who
assume control
ignore
of
history are
any
doomed to
passive
repeat
threat.
it.
They will assuming
Like,
control.
yes, what they believe is wrong and dangerous, but if we don't try and understand why they believe it, then it can keep happening.
Yeah, exactly. If we don't
Overriding turret.
actually get deep down into the reasonings of like, well, how can people form like, you know, such extreme opinions and beliefs and find it acceptable to think that way? If we don't understand their mindset, then we're never going to be able to prevent it or fix their, you know, mindset in the future.
My shields are
And
down.
I don't always talk as if, like, you know, my perspective is right. But I am going to categorically say that racist is the wrong opinion.
Also, as well, you can explain yourself. That's the thing, and your explanation is going to be based on, like, you know, like Legion's logic and reasoning thereof. It makes no sense to dislike someone just for the way they choose to live their life. It doesn't make sense to waste your energy. Like, even if you want to frame it in the most, like, selfish, pragmatic way possible, of why is it worth your time?
Mm-hmm.
Under fire.
Oh man, that's so rough. I'll just overload the thing. Like,
Oh, like those poor Geth. They'll put them in a conversation.
they were trying to work on a problem together.
Was that the thing we were talking about earlier, isn't it? When you watch, like, the Star Wars prequels, all the droids talk to each other, and then Anakin Skywalker goes in and laughs as he kills them. I think something that went viral again, so it goes viral every now and again, is in the General Grievous fight, if you look in the background, one of the droids nudges another droid and points to Grievous. So this is
right.
like, hey bro, check this out, it's going to be really cool. And just these little moments of personality that completely undo. Like, why would you give them personality if you're just going to kill them all?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
I forgot. I went to, like, use the thing, but was too busy listening to
We
what
can
you
assume
say and pay
control of
attention
any
to you
defensive turret.
that I forgot to,
Overriding
like,
the target.
actually remember what Unity is and how to heal. And then just got shot and was like, oh.
Hacking turret.
Just had a little brain fart of like, yeah, I'll use my ability to wheel to heal, and then forgot what I was doing. So we're okay. Luckily, this isn't Mass Effect 1, where I'd be getting sent back like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, like, what has happened if you've been thrown back in time? Like last week.
We'd end up having to do like Tally's fucking loyalty mission again or something.
You might have done, yeah. But I do feel like this mission is very good because it shows why sci-fi as a genre is one of my favourite ones. Oh, it's such a good way to get across, like, it's using allegory. Because there'll be people out there who may not want to listen to a specific argument or way of thinking, but when it's presented in this way, like, the guys of, the meme of like, oh wow, cool robot.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually been taught something along the way as well.
Yeah, like
The power of the story.
I think it's a really important thing to point out is that whole thing about like, well, just because a large proportion of the world can agree that being racist is not acceptable and is the wrong thing to do, and the opinion otherwise is like a wrong opinion for the betterment of humanity, is that is not the way to be progressive and go forward. And but most people would just then be like, well, why do we need to understand why racist people are there? Like, why do we need to give a shit about what they think or have any kind of, any kind of fucks given about why they're racist? Just, we need to stop them being racist. It's like, and yeah, but a part of that is understanding that mentality in the first place. And the fact that Legion can tell people that is a good way, as you say, to be like, well, let's listen to the cool robot in Mass Effect.
Yeah, and they explain in a way that is somewhat divorced from my own reality, so it's a bit easier for people to pass.
Mm-hmm. But then the issue is the moment that you take that and remove the humanity out of it a little bit by making it about an alien story, then a lot of people just let it fly over their heads because they don't want to hear it.
Well, Lucas, yeah, there's no messaging here.
There's zero messaging.
It is a fascinating concept. It's something I studied in university to a degree. It wasn't the focus of my degree, but we did study like representation of race in media and stuff like that. There's a couple of like fascinating like studies that like they form the grounding of this like area of study, and I think the famous one is that just kids don't actually see race until they're like certain age. It's not the thing children notice.
Right, yeah.
Like if you put children of different races in a room, they won't notice that their skin is a different color because they lack the ability to like just see themselves in that way. And there's a certain age where you reach where you do start to notice it, and it's unclear how much of that is informed by culture and how much of it is like innately learned. As like children become more aware of themselves as people and individuals.
I was gonna say, because I also imagine that there is some correlation between them being able to understand that that might be a thing and the perception of self, because it's like a while before like babies have a way of figuring out like how to literally have any form of self-identification.
Yeah, it's a fascinating area to study.
And I don't mean that as if like it's a while before they've got like a form of ID or something. Like, it's one of those weird things of babies and toddlers literally like when they look at themselves in a mirror, it's a while before they realize that like that is themselves and not just like a different person or something.
Yes.
Yeah, it is very fascinating. I like the idea that some parts of video games, they're not teaching children Mass Effect, but obviously, maybe there's some things that could like maybe get through to certain people by playing video games like this.
Their shields are mine.
There's a couple, isn't there? It's like there's a couple of famous examples of just like very not heady themes, but very basic ones. Like you play Metal Gear and stuff. It's like just all focusing like, man, war sucks and only results in misery for everyone involved, and it's always the soldiers who suffer, never the politicians.
Oh, they just went through the wall.
Man, that's powerful.
That's some Geth technique right there. I know you can't hear my my gameplay, but there's just some weird like gargling tech noise going on. It's like this Geth has just entered the wall and is just in pain.
He's in the walls now.
Like the classic Batman of like, do you bleed? Do you feel fear? That, I know that Geth now feels pain. Whether Legion tells me they can or not.
I'm just like, I
Criminal
remember
status.
one of the studies that's really interesting because it applies to anime.
Okay.
You heard that conversation a few weeks ago about it's like Avatar: The Last Airbender,
I remember talking about Avatar, yeah.
about how like M Night Shyamalan's like, hey, like the characters in anime are not drawn to be Japanese.
Right, yeah.
I looked that up. I contacted my ex about it, like what was the study and stuff. And I remember like it's just a really interesting way of summing up like how different races perceive. Just to explain for anyone wondering, it's like there's a weird line of thinking you'll sometimes see online. It's one repeated by M Night Shyamalan about why none of the characters in the Last Airbender live action movie were Asian. It's like, oh, that's because it's anime inspired and anime characters are deliberately drawn to be ethnically ambiguous, and it's
I think
not that
there
they
were
are.
some Asian actors, but I think there was a big lack of Eastern Asian actors in there, though, right?
Yes, and his defense for that is that like, characters from animes or anime inspired media are not drawn to be any one like ethnicity, and they are. It's just that the way those ethnicities see themselves is different to how others. And the example that I got told is if you ask a white child and a black child to draw themselves, it would be the assumption of us as like white adults that the black child would, if you ask them to pick up a pen and draw themselves, what would be the defining feature they'd pick? You think, would they colour it in with darker skin?
Hmm.
And the answer is no. They'd most likely draw it with curly hair. Because it goes into that thing I mentioned earlier of them not seeing their skin colour as something that's different. And as a result, it's not something that they would note as being a feature that is distinguishes themselves.
So you're saying, like, if a kid got asked to draw, like, a group of their friends in, like, you know, preschool or whatever, and they were all of different ethnicities, what you're saying is that they wouldn't necessarily pick up different, like, pens and draw different skin colours. They would just,
I think they
like,
might,
focus on
but
features rather than...
I think the children might for other ethnicities, but the children of those ethnicities wouldn't necessarily think of their skin colour as being the thing that defines them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
like
Right.
I said, with like a child of like Afro-Caribbean descent might pick like their curly hair because they see their curly hair as being more unique than their
Right,
skin.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to, like, picture in my head with just the words alone of, like, what exactly the study is fully, but yeah, I kind of think I understand what you mean.
And then in relation to anime,
This
it's
isn't
like
like the other hubs we've
it's
seen
that
here.
a lot of like not speaking
It
to the
contains a portion
whole
the
of the
heretics' accumulated
region,
memories.
but for generally speaking, it's that they see it's their noses. It's the nose, like small,
We
like
discovered copies of our
thinner,
direct patrol routes in
like
this
a thinner
database.
chin, a sharper chin, sharper
This
features, a
suggests
small nose.
heretics have runtimes within our
That's
networks.
why like a lot of anime characters who are drawn to be Japanese have like small features like that. And if you look at you see like when you see a Western character, like an American character in an anime, they normally have a big nose
Hmm.
because that's a feature that they see as being representative of themselves. So when you get like people like M Night Shyamalan being like, "Oh no, they're designed to be ethnically ambiguous," like, no, it's just the traits that
It's
they've
just
put
that,
to code it as Japanese you don't recognize because you're not from that culture or race.
right, yeah, so, like, a lot of them are being, from the artist's perspective, who might be Japanese, they are, like, drawing features that they think are uniquely Japanese, but maybe
We don't
someone that doesn't
recognize.
have that perspective wouldn't notice that they're drawing those features in that way specifically.
Exactly, but once you know to look
Right,
out for that,
yeah.
it's very easy to spot. Like if you think of any American character in an anime, they always have a big nose
Mm-hmm.
and blonde hair. Blonde hair is the other big one.
I find as well, like, just generally speaking, if you think about a lot of more cartoonish, more exaggerated style animes, like maybe like One Piece or Dragon Ball, like, I generally find that they draw foreign characters from, like, somewhere that's not Japan, generally a bit bigger in stature and, like, the size of their head and just generally, like, yeah, some of their features as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's fascinating. It just goes to show like that is the importance to me to see something from another person's perspective because
Mhm.
it leads to people like M Night Shyamalan, a normally smart dude, being like, oh yeah, no one in anime is drawn to be any particular ethnicity. It's that they are.
And then it's funny when, like, one of the examples I brought up was like, oh, and then when people say that everyone in One Piece is meant to be Japanese, even though there's literally a panel of Oda saying, well, I haven't actually specifically made them intentionally from one certain country. I did have like rough ideas of where in the world they might come from if it was translated to Earth, though, and like here's maybe the countries I would imagine that they were from. So like Sanji being from France and Zoro from Japan and Luffy from Brazil, I think it was, and like he said, they're not in Earth, so they're not these races, but to try and translate it to give people like a better idea of like what I'm trying to represent. But yeah.
But I always love stuff like that. That's like just an interesting way of looking at media.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have that stuff pointed out, it helps you notice it. Like, even something like Dragon Ball, which is set in a fantastical version of the world in which we live, you can now read those characters being coded to be Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
They have straight black hair,
I think,
and the sharper features.
There's a couple of good examples in like, you know, Tekken and Street Fighter of worldwide tournaments where each character is meant to be specifically from different parts of the world.
Yeah, that's right. There are exceptions to the rule. Like Ryu definitely does not have delicate feet. That man is wider than a car door.
Mm-hmm. But he definitely was more coded to look a bit more Japanese in like the early games.
Yeah, and he's based on a real dude as well, like Masayama as well.
Also, just to get back to Mass Effect here, like
let's go.
These like hubs here are suggesting that like the heretics still have runtimes within our networks, meaning like, oh, they're still part of like the network. They haven't fully detached themselves like they were talking about earlier.
We wouldn't be here if the heretics wanted to.
So cool.
I don't understand. Organics do not know each other's.
I mean, they're aware of what you're saying.
We are not suspicious. We accept each other.
And they know what you're not doing.
We understood their reasons. We allowed it. There was peace between us.
It's like, there was peace between us.
Listen to that as well. Of like, oh, weren't you annoyed? It's like, no, because we understood their line of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's what they said earlier. It's like a 1 + 1 = 2. They saw it as 1 + 1 = 3.
Mm-hmm.
We can't logically come to their conclusion, but we understand that there must be a reason for those.
We understand that even though we can't comprehend it, they came to a logical conclusion that was different than ours. So we decided to peacefully separate.
Imagine that. A difference of ideas. That doesn't result in violence. That's the important thing. It's only when like that difference of ideas resulted in violence being committed towards the other group of the guests that they had to be like, okay, this needs to be sorted now.
We no longer understand each other. What did we do wrong?
Oh no.
And I love.
Well, Renegade Shep's going to be like, fuck you, it's their fault.
Oh, it's so sad because like Legion has the ability to look a little bit sad when his little like eyebrow black.
You're not responsible for their decisions.
It's really cool. The fact they gave like this robot personality,
and as well the fact that they use these different like flaps in ways that like might kind of correlate emotion over to us.
Yes, like you see, he's got like the be roughly analogous to an eyebrow.
Mm-hmm. And like a lot of the emotion is told through our eyes and our eyebrows, and they utilize that very much with like the eye and then the two like almost eyebrow-esque flaps on top of his head. Yeah,
but just the fact that you hear him say, why would they do this? Like Legion can't understand, and the fact that he can't understand, and he can't understand a member of his own culture is upsetting to him, but he doesn't know what being upset means, which is doubly upsetting.
And it's like, yeah, we're trying to currently build a consensus of whether like we should just, you know, destroy this, or whether we should try and rewrite the heretics back over to us.
It's like, so that would be like taking on their free will, which we've like, you know, there's no the one thing that we value above all else is the ability to self-determinate. It's the one thing that was robbed from us by the creators.
Like, yep. Have you decided whether to essentially rob their free will of them or not?
Is that I don't know. And I love it, the fact that he doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are equally as good arguments for both.
Overriding your target.
And I'm starting to think, like, is this the mission where they talk about, like, have I mislabeled this stream? Is this the sole argument?
It's either in this, Or maybe it's in Mass Effect
This is it?
3
Yes,
when
we
you
will
figure
upload a
out whether you
copy
want
of
to
our
save the
runtime
planet
into
or
the
not.
core. It will delete all copies
It might
of
be
the
in Mass
virus.
Effect 3 where you got to go
Oh
to like
no,
the
maybe
core
I'm just
files.
maybe I'm just baiting people. I'm
Either
sorry if
way,
I've got this wrong, but
Will take time.
in my head
The
for some
heretics
reason
will
this was
respond
where
with
that
force to our
discussion was
upload.
had.
We must hold this
I
room.
think it's because Mass Effect 2 and 3 for me were always
We
played
can
back to
override
back.
some of the station's
Yeah.
internal systems to defend us. Are you ready to begin?
Are we ready to begin? But yeah, fuck it. Oh no.
Start your
Maybe I'm just like
defend this position.
accidentally. You know, it's an
Wildcraft
interesting
begun.
discussion to have either
Shepard
way, and
Commander, where would
something
you
we
like
can
us to
talk about.
activate
Just like
defenses? Alert. Heretic
Like,
runtimes downloading to
because
mobile platforms.
you know, minor spoilers for Mass Effect 3, the conversation comes up of like
Alert.
not just
Heretic
like are the
runtimes
guests
downloading to
sentient,
mobile
but do they have
platforms.
souls?
Executing
And
shell command.
that's where
just-
you have to bring up the Star Trek argument, where it's handled
Target.
flawlessly, where it's the argument, does Data have a soul? And the answer is, we don't know. And because the answer is, we don't know, we have to treat him as if he
We have
does.
to treat
because
it in case the answer would be yes, because it's one thing to definitively know that you're like treating something that doesn't have a soul that way, but treating something that might have a soul as if it didn't,
Rearming.
that's real rough.
Yeah, it's monstrous in the extreme. Like, it's an act of just monstrous moral degeneracy that cannot be tolerated. And that's why I like it. Like, the fact that we don't know the answer means that the answer to can we destroy him is no.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Geth. Like, do they have souls? Well, I'm not sure. Like, do you think they are sentient, or are they just like, you know, putting on like the best impression of what sentience is? I don't know. Then we can't kill them.
Yeah, like the fact that the answer isn't definitive means that we can't be the monsters in the scenario and just treat them as if they don't have a soul. Because as said earlier, just like
They've seen us.
if you treat something that did have a soul as if it didn't, that's fucking horrendous. But if you treated something that doesn't have a soul like it does by accident,
Like, what's the harm?
it's like, yeah, was there any real foul play in there? Does it really matter?
Well, that is an argument that happens in real life, isn't it? Of well, what about if we're wrong? And it's like, oh no, we were just nice. Like, the things like any social issue that requires like a little bit of effort to fix. Like, what about if we're wrong, Lucas, about global warming? It's like, oh no, I guess we just developed clean power that's cheaper and more effective for no reason.
Like, yeah, sure, maybe it cost a lot of short-term money, which that's what the companies don't like. But we made a concerted effort to try and make the planet a healthier place, like for the literal planet itself. It's like, okay, well, if we're wrong, we just made things nicer for the planet and nature, and hopefully made things a little bit better in the world.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, we did it for no reason. Or like, you can apply like the same line of reasoning to like stuff like the death penalty. Is it possible to conclusively prove beyond 100% certainty that someone committed a crime? The answer is absolutely not, because there's so many cases of like, you know, wrongful confessions and people being exonerated after they've been killed.
And obviously, you know, if you've got 100 different video feeds of this person like committing war atrocities live on television, you probably can at that point, but it's very unlikely that people do things worthy of the death penalty in light of many cameras all shining perfect, like HD fucking recordings on their faces.
Yeah, at which point the answer is the similar argument there. Like, can you say with 100% certainty that this person did it beyond all shadow of reasonable doubt? No, then it is immoral to, like, you know, go to the most extreme option.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that's a argument that this video game has helped us make.
You don't have any trouble wiping out your own people.
It's like, why am I deciding? Why do I have to decide your fate?
Chose a path that prohibits coexistence.
That doesn't make sense. If they have the right to make their own decisions,
There it is, look.
how can you
They don't
suggest
want to coexist with
brainwashing
us.
them to accept your way?
We stated the option exists. We did not endorse it. It is Shepard
Yeah, it's like,
decision.
I love that. We never said that rewriting them was a, like, morally okay thing to do. We just
said
told
it's an
you
option.
that logically that is an option that exists.
And here's the thing as well.
We never endorsed it. We just told you that we could do it.
And here's the thing as well. Lucas, what is the right answer here? It's really tough to know because there's a legitimate argument for either way of.
Well, that's the thing is the renegade option here is to murder them all. But like, is it really any better to literally rip away free will from every single, heretic geth out there and make them forcibly come back to your consensus?
I'd say it's like.
Is that really better than dying?
Because it could be argued, if you want to play devil's advocate, that killing them is an act in the macro sense of self-defense. Because
either
they will try
self-defense
to kill
or
you.
mercy or both.
It's like they will, if the moment they get activated, they will try and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
There is no reasoning with them. There is no stopping them. They will try and kill everyone on Earth.
And that's the thing is, like you could argue maybe they don't have free will under the Reapers, but the idea that they chose to worship the Reapers anyway probably indicates that they don't need any form of indoctrination. They just follow the Reapers, and like, can you even technically indoctrinate Geth? Because they're not.
How fascinating a discussion is that?
They've not got brains. They're numbers. Like, maybe they could reprogram them. Like, we could, but if they were reprogrammed by the Reapers, you would assume that they're not at this point, because surely the Reapers would make it so that they could never be reprogrammed or like reprogrammed back to the Geth ways. It's like the assumption, at least from my perspective, is that no, they just left to worship the Reapers and follow the like path of free will. Why would they need to do anything?
They follow their Reaper path, and it's real tough. It's a real tough thing because you can see it both ways, and I guess that's what makes these missions so interesting, because this is the trolley problem, and that's why the trolley problem.
In a different sense, kind of, yeah. Yeah,
that's why the trolley problem is such a fascinating philosophical quandary, because there is no right or wrong answer, but people insist that there is.
I mean, like this way, you physically have to make a decision to do one thing or the other. Like, that's why it's not quite the trolley problem.
Because in the trolley problem, inaction is an option.
Inaction is an option in the trolley problem, yeah. Whereas here it is, there is currently like there's a left path or a right path, but currently the trolley doesn't have any path set for it, basically.
Yeah, you have to choose which path to put it down.
Mm-hmm.
There's a variation on it, I suppose, of like you are pulling a trigger, but there's two options, and it's like which one is the moral one.
Mm-hmm. It's so annoying that this audio thing happens.
We don't delete the virus after using it. We judge it too dangerous to allow its existence.
So yeah, like one argument is, well, what happens to this virus after we use it? It's like, okay, we're going to use the virus this one time to fuck the heretics. Either way. And then we're going to just delete the virus so it can never be used ever again.
Because there'll never be anyone as special and moral as me, Commander Shepard. Person who flips on their morals on a whim as they
on the basis of Twitch chat. That may point to the origin, essentially, slave race Earth. Necessarily, the cloning everywhere. Yeah, like if you're utilizing a robot while cloning people to then make them essentially love being, maybe not slaves in the Warhammer universe, I'm not quite sure how it works, but like if they are programmed to love being these workers that are just miners for their entire life, like is that at some point just creating a bunch of like Neuron robots? Like, yeah, do they have free will?
That just gets to it's the Rick and Morty quote, isn't it? That just sounds like slavery with extra steps.
Yeah, right. Of like, don't know in Warhammer whether actually being used as slaves or not. I don't know that part of the lore or anything.
Warhammer, they absolutely are.
Yeah. Probably in Warhammer.
Why are you letting
it is the most horrific. Actually, no, Lucas, it's a super good universe.
Yeah,
no
everything is correct. The Empire have did nothing wrong.
573 favor rewrite. and 571 favor destruction. Shepard Commander, you have fought the heretics. You have perspective we lack.
Oh, it's almost dead even as well.
To you.
That's the thing, is technically there's 2 more Geth. Two more Geth have voted in favor, so I guess in chat, like, let us know. Should Shepard make the decision, or should we let the Geth make a decision, even though there's not really... It is, for all intents and purposes, a tie, but there is 2 more votes that go towards rewriting them over destroying them.
Which is the majority, and
It's the most minute of majorities, but it is a majority vote.
And you have to respect the majority vote, unless you live in the UK or America,
where, the system is basically intended to bend around the idea of a representative of voting. But who saying we go for the majority, let Geth determine it. Okay, yeah, so everyone seems to be along lines of yeah, we are Renegade Shepard, and the choice we would pick right now as Renegade is to kill them, but I'm not having the argument of whether we should do Paragon Renegade. I'm of the argument of, should this be our decision or the Geth's? And
the Renegade decision will be to make the decision for yourself.
So yeah, fair enough. We'll go with rewrite then. We'll let the Geth determine, because it's not much of a majority, but it was a majority vote.
If they're
Also, as well, it's their right to self-determine.
Will they even want to go back?
They will agree with our judgments in return. We will
so
their experiences. All will be
if we rewrite them right now,
Take them then.
just
When we get control
all
of
of them
the
will
core, release the
currently just
virus.
start to agree with us again. Until we get to Mass Effect 3 where they're like,
Releasing
oh, I
virus.
thought we
Note,
reprogrammed
access
all
via
these Geth
hacking
in this
transmission
mission.
required.
And most of them,
The
I
virus will
guess
be
you
sent
still need to fight
heretics
Geth in this
nearby
mission. I
smart
don't know.
systems. This
I think it's
station
kind of
will
fun, though, that
broadcast
some of them go back.
electromagnetic pulse through FTL
I
channels.
can't remember what the excuses are, but
Yield
we'll
in
find
excess
out.
of 1.21 petawatts. Alert. EM flux will be hazardous to unshielded organic forms. Addendum. The interior of this station is not shielded.
I really wish you'd said that before. Back to the
Like
ship.
that.
Double time, people.
Unshielded organic forces will be fucked. You are not wearing shields.
Holy shit.
God, no.
We got plus 30 Paragon. Oh my god, that's...
So many.
Oh, we're a full-on Renegade anyway at this point.
The problem with that, I think we mentioned it earlier in the playthrough, of the issue with every Renegade option being on the bottom and every Paragon option being on top, you can tell what the writers think is the good or bad choice. And so many people playing this game just always pick the good or bad one, whether they're doing a Renegade or a Paragon run.
Yeah.
They don't actually probably stop and think and have the conversation we just did with themselves.
I've just changed the thing to brainwashing Geth. It's I'm sorry that I may have misled with my stream title. I thought it was the Geth have a soul conversation in this game. Clearly it's 3.
I just see them, because I always play 2 and then 3 straight afterwards, so they kind of blend together.
How the fuck do I get out? Oh, it's this door on the right. Right, okay. I forget that I have the option to just click the right stick and get the little ping.
We've been
There's
spotted.
no dead space, but it'll do. Oh, dead space comes back. We fight the moon.
It would be awesome if they went
Contact.
the first Dead Space remake did well enough that we're now gonna go do 2 and 3.
I can't believe they didn't do all 3 in one go.
I mean,
I thought they were.
oh my god, it wasn't just a little bit of a remaster or something though. It was
a ground up one.
a ground up full remake of the game from scratch. That would be a lot of work, and just at some point people deserve to be paid. So I think the value in doing 3 full remakes is worth getting a full game out of each one, or at very least maybe not a £70 game like EA charge, but a bit of a discounted version of a game, but not too much.
I think they should do what Rebirth did and just rewrite the story. Just have Isaac from the future come in and be like, trust me, bro.
Be careful, because I don't know how much is going on in Rebirth.
What do you like with the whispers, like the canon ghost that I was like, don't go there. That's
Well,
the canon,
remake is
yeah.
different, obviously. Yeah, like remake's been out for a little while.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I
Please
meant
don't
remake
mention
and rebirth.
Yeah.
I meant remake and rebirth are like, you know, the diverging path thing of like Sephiroth, like from the end of the game, be like, I'm gonna come in and ruin everything.
Of just
I want
Sephiroth
to get
just.
like.
That's the thing. To this day, like even like 20 hours into Rebirth, I don't quite know what's going on or what Sephiroth meant, but I do know there is like some level of Sephiroth being like, I don't like how things are probably going, or I know they go, or something like that. Like basically
so
Sephiroth
weird.
coming in some way and being like, let's change fate.
But let's get that in like the Dead Space remake, and it's like Carver comes in. Like, you get Isaac from the future, when it's like the Isaac from, I don't know, PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. Get him in. So that version of Isaac that's like fighting like Zeus.
Yeah, because like what? Oh yeah, because it's Ragnarok, isn't it? Where they turn around and he's like, ah yes, there was one time where like I was in another place and fought like Fat Princess and shit like this, but I don't like to talk about that.
Yeah, and don't forget, it was canon. Or not canon, but that game, the canonical like face of battle for Isaac Clarke was Zeus. Just
Was
Isaac
it?
Clarke fucking hates religion.
Oh right, okay, yeah, sure. I was trying to think of like what the logical conclusion was to like, what's Isaac Clarke in Zeus? Is that yeah, because the marker being a religious thing, and yeah, he just wants to curb stomp religion as a concept.
Well, the thing that I kind of like though is that he captures the lightning bolt with his kinesis
I'm on
module,
it, Joker.
and I like the suggestion that the Greek gods are powerful, but just the technology of Isaac's universe can replicate the
I
power.
caught Legion scanning my Omni tool.
So you know, Kratos can't stop
Data
time.
about the flotilla back to the Geth.
Creators performed weapons tests. And
Or he can,
processing
but it's like, you know,
plans
it
for
requires
tenders.
like a power that's
We believe it
ridiculous. You can only do it for a few
necessary to warn our
seconds. Isaac can do
We
juicy
already
finds on the
made
ground.
Geth stronger by rewriting the ones that worship the Reapers. I won't let Legion endanger the fleet by giving them more information.
Creator Tali Zora acts out of loyalty to
Tali?
the people. She was willing to
Shut
be
up.
exiled to protect them. We must also protect
I also
our
love the
people from
idea
the
of
creator
like,
threat.
oh,
You can't let this happen, Shepard. I trusted you, and I worked with a Geth on the team, but this is too much.
just yeah, the idea where it's like, oh well, we managed to find out some information and we wanted to warn our people. It's like, oh well, how on earth would have they gotten information about the flotilla and the Quarians? It's not like they were on the fleet or anything. Like, there's no way that Legion could get any of that information.
What I like here though is just the symbolism of Tali telling you of like, telling Legion, look, I'm going to point this gun at you because I can't trust you, and Legion's like, the Quarians are a threat, and Tali's like, no, we're not. It's like, you're literally pointing a gun at me. I think that is like a microcosm of the Geth Quarian relationship, of the Geth being like, please just leave us alone. The Quarian putting a gun to their head, like, you cannot be trusted.
Yeah. It's like, we just don't want to get attacked by you again. We would never attack you holding gun to said head. It's
like the symbolism is so obvious. Like, she's the one pulling the gun on the Geth, and the Geth's like, we just want to make sure that we know how big your flotilla is, so you can't kill us.
And also to clarify, you know, these moments, if you don't have the Renegade or Paragon mode unlocked, like, you have to side with one or the other, whereas we go with the Renegade option that we've unlocked by being mostly Renegade, because this will piss them both off, but they'll both stay loyal to you.
And that's what you want, because otherwise you can like lose party members, you can lose a party member, or like one can fuck off, or they won't trust you anymore.
Tali, of course the Geth are worried about your people. You want to destroy them.
It's not that simple.
It kind of is.
What the hell
Part
are
of
you
it is
doing?
that
Are you
simple,
trying to undermine
Tali.
this entire operation?
We did not intend to decrease operational efficiency.
But also, yeah,
We are on a
Legion,
mission.
we're all meant to
It's
fucking
either
trust
get
each other.
on my
What the
side Or
fuck?
get crushed under my heel.
Like, we
You
understand
will
your
not
plight and we
stand
are on
in
your
my
side
way.
here, but stop scanning
To
everything in
facilitate
the
unit
ship.
cohesion, we will
People
not
aren't gonna
transmit
fucking
data
trust
regarding
you.
creator plans.
Thank you, Legion. I understand your intention. What
A lot
if
of
I
Legion
give you some
understands.
non-classified data to send?
There we go. What if I
It
gave
would
you
be
some
great.
non-classified data? Is He's like, please stop stealing everybody's classified information, Legion. We'd really appreciate that much, at least.
But the thing I like about it, though, is that to Legion, it makes no sense of why wouldn't you share all information with each other at all times? It makes no sense to keep secrets, because then you can't make decisions based on...
Then Commander Shepard has to put him in line and tell him, that might not make sense to you, however, that's how things fucking work here. If you're going to be on our ship, what is classified information stays fucking classified, okay? Like,
Yeah,
we've already given you access to all of, like, Edie's information and shit, okay?
Well, that's the Cerberus, so I love giving him access to Cerberus, because Cerberus hates it, and there's nothing they can do.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that's a fantastic, like, you know, you completely understand his reasoning of what secrets don't exist in, like, Geth culture, why would we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Why would we keep secrets from each other?
But yeah, just the idea that, okay, you might not understand that, but sorry, that is a way of living. Here, around here, there are many things that are classified to either me or to other personnel, and you can't just go around hacking their shit.
So I shouldn't tell them about Morins, and everyone's like, wait, what? Morins? It's like, shut up, Legion!
Oh, you meant Samara, right? He's like, no, the Asari known as Samara seems to have disappeared off the ship.
The IFF is nearly.
What's the funny thing? Legion will probably notice that, and he probably would be weirded out by it, because he wouldn't understand why they're lying.
To access your next location.
Okay, well, you know what, Karl?
What's that?
I think like this has gone on long enough. Just we need to do this upgrade, Karl. We need Mrs. Red Eyes to go away, I'm afraid.
Oh, can you at least take one screenshot?
Take a
Can you at least
screenshot.
leave him on for a sex scene with Thane?
Oh no, God, did I?
So during the bit when he's looking into your eyes, it's like, I love you, Shepard, and you're like, you can fix the eye. I just think it's been so funny walking around with glowing red demon eyes.
I know that now, like,
shuttle to access your next location.
the game's like, hey, shit's about to go down, the IFF's about to be installed.
Like, clean up anything you need to get done right now.
Mm-hmm.
You've probably got a couple missions to do there.
I wonder, can we get, like, a nice... Where's... Oh, you know, maybe if we go down one level, we can go back to the viewing docks, can't we? And go to Kasumi's nice little window and take a nice picture.
With your glowing red eyes.
Please refrain from too many spoilers, Exion.
Why would you do that?
People
Why
in
would you
chat
spoil them?
do not know what's coming necessarily. We already have Kasumi and Zed.
I have enjoyed those walking around like your shit with your glowing red eyes. It's so dumb.
It's all good. Like, that's why I'm just, you know, I'm being friendly with the first warning of just like, I know you're probably not aware, but like some people here don't know what's going on and haven't played the game, so we tried to do like semi-safe spoiler-wise.
You look like a Batman villain.
Like, we talk about more like broader topics a lot of the time, but try to keep some of the specifics a bit more secret.
Your Commander Shepard looks like a demon.
I just don't want to do the end of the game with this.
That's fair. Here's a question though, Lucas. Would you comment on that? Like in the situation, if your boss goes and gets surgery for their eyes, do you comment on it and compliment them on it?
I probably would be like, I would probably, if I was, you know, relatively close with them like the main crew are, I would probably be like, jokingly make some kind of comment about being less intimidated by them nowadays.
That's not, 'cause I think for me, just in my head, my version of Shepard would not be vain enough to give a shit.
Hmm.
But I do understand what you mean. Like, it does ruin the fun because it's so ridiculous.
It is so bad looking, right? Like, at some point, it does just look awful.
It's
for, like, the end of the
distracting.
game, yeah.
It should have been a bit more subtle.
Mm-hmm. It's like, it's not very far off. Okay, Jack can get some biotic power boost. Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Listen, you got enough resources, buy all this shit, haven't you? Like, prototype stuff, like what the stuff you get from the...
Well, it's just the
extras,
heavy
right?
weapons and the armor sets, and I'm not very bothered about that. But, yeah, just I you know, I would necessarily like plan on all that shit, but it does look a lot less intimidating, and maybe you would crack a little joke of like, oh, looking a lot healthier today, Shepard. Because, like, bear in mind, it's not just the eyes, it's like the dark, soulless patches around the eyes, the massive glowing scars across the face.
I'm still glowing a little bit.
Like, it is very... No, we need to heal the scars now by going down here.
Oh, you bought the research and now you're going to go get the fat scars fixed, okay.
Permanently heal facial scarring and remove the evidence of cybernetic implants. But I was going to say, it's like... It's almost as ridiculous as when you play, like, Fable, and you've got, like, demon horns coming out of your head if you've gone full evil.
I always like, though, that in Fable, it's never established whether you actually look like that or that's just people's perception of you.
Shepard,
I've always appreciated like that aspect of it. Like, is it that you have demon horns, or is it that people see
they
you as
will
a demon?
isolate themselves and reconsider their past judgments.
Dude, now you look
How long
normal.
will
You
that
don't look
take?
cool anymore.
We think at the speed of light. In the
You
time
should have the
it takes
option
you
to put
avoid
more
the
robot
process,
shit on your
I
face.
review all my time aboard Normandy. When they have reached new judgments, they will leave their hiding places and return to us.
So when they've reached their new judgments, it's like... So what's going to happen to all these heretics? They're immediately going to go into isolation, think about what they've done, and then eventually realize that they definitely agree with us.
We're going to put them on a
have questions about the
species-wide
Specify.
timeout. I think we should do that with all Americans.
I mean, most of Britain as well, right?
Yeah.
I have to get back
Most
to
of
work.
England, for sure.
Shepard, Commander.
I'd like
I
to
think it
find
was
out
like a-
more about you.
There's a short story about that
Please
of
come again later.
like
I have to get back
the
to
entire
work.
world convinces
Acknowledge.
America. So like, you know, all the countries are going to just join, go on their own for a little bit and see what happens, and the rest of the world just carries on while America just like closes itself off.
That's the thing, is we say this shit knowing full well, like, I hate the people in the country I live in. I do not like most English people, and I think as a general vibe and consensus across the country, it's bad.
The IFF is nearly installed, Shepard. However, I must test its impact.
Oh, we
on
need
the
to feed the
Normandy
fish. I missed
systems.
that one.
I suggest you take the shuttle to access your next location.
Yeah. Get these sausages in.
What's the question? Are the fish going to recognise you? They might not
Gonna go
recognise
back
you.
and see things like... Shepard, you do realise the thing I found attractive was just your death eyes.
Yeah, like without those, you just look like a Unreal engine model. So I should have took that you glowing eye screenshot in front of the fish. Look at him.
God, yeah. I do like, though, the idea that Doctor Who being too goofy. It's like, I prefer that to when they decided everything must be super grimdark. I know that we did lose the Death Eyes. The game's basically just said to us,
The IFF is
the IFF is nearly installed.
However, I must test its impact
The
on Normandy
end game is
systems.
coming. Like, you know, the last few big missions. We're not ending the game right now, but
That is not
It's like it's the
entirely
beginning of the
accurate,
end.
Mr. Moreau.
it is the beginning of the end. Like,
device
the
is
third
fine,
act
but it
is beginning.
causing
It's
some
like,
unusual instability in other systems. I
I
recommend
just
a more
at
thorough
some point
analysis before
soon
we
is going to
attempt
be
use it.
like, you know, romancical times, and I don't want it to be ruined by like just the Death Eyes. I recommend an analysis. So, what's the time estimate? Come on.
We can't put our mission on hold forever. How long will this take?
A full scan? Who knows with this thing? Maybe you better take the shuttle for this mission. I'll make sure we're up and running when you get back.
Commander, Miranda, I've already notified the team. We'll meet you on the shuttle. Once we're closer to our destination, you can decide who to take with you.
Yeah, so the game right now is not even like, oh, go choose a mission. It's, we are on a mission. Get in the shuttle. We are already on a mission.
There's no fucking around, and that's why
Lovely.
like you can
Joker,
lose
shoot's
out on
yours.
stuff like this because
Don't
basically you just
scratch
get
the pen.
railroaded into the last 10 minutes of the game. Well, the last couple hours.
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like that's why just people don't like change, and that's why you find every single time there's a new Doctor, people always talk about how much they just. Well, actually, I did really like the last Doctor.
Mr. Classic is every time the new Star Wars movie, like, were we too hard on the other Star Wars movie?
Yeah. I mean, at least they do give you the chance to, like...
I'm telling you, Edie, your readings are off. It's radiation.
Do
just
this.
white noise.
I have
In the way we have,
detected a
where
signal
we've
embedded
already
in the
done
static. We are transmitting
all of
Normandy's
the,
location.
you know,
Transmitting?
loyalty missions and stuff,
To
but if
who?
we'd gone and done... Oh, shit. Yeah, so if we'd gone and done all of, like, the IFF mission straight away before going and recruiting people and before going and doing loyalty missions, this would have happened,
Getting
like,
out of here.
one mission
systems
after
are
we'd
disabled.
done the
I am
IFF
detecting a
mission
virus in the
regardless.
ship's computers.
Yeah.
From the IFF?
So, like,
Damn
the
it,
game
why
starts
did you try it?
railroading you into
Primary
a
defense
collector
systems are
assault,
offline. We can
regardless
save
of how
Normandy,
far
Mr.
through the
Morrow, but
game
must
you are.
help me.
And you can still go do the other missions, but every time you do a mission that's not
What?
directly
You're
like
crazy.
stopping these guys,
You start
there's like
saying
a
Daisy
hidden
Bell,
clock in the background that will
My
result in some
sealed
bad stuff
databases, and I
happening.
can initiate
exactly.
countermeasures.
Which I think resulted in most people just
Shaft
immediately
in the science
rebooting
lab
their
will
entire
allow
game.
passage to the AI core.
So I did that,
Main core
and it's like,
ports
oh,
are
you
no
just like
longer
you
safe.
straight up just start
The
losing
collectors
party
are
members.
I didn't, but it did make me start a second playthrough almost immediately to do a perfect run.
Oh, this is a bit where you, oh god, I forgot we got control Joker.
So yeah,
Like Cerberus couldn't build the guy some fucking robot legs.
regardless of when you do the IFF mission, because we got the IFF mission, what, like
Immediately.
2 months ago, maybe? Like, we got it super early.
Yep, but you
And
didn't
regardless
do it.
of whether we'd done recruitments and done loyalty missions, once we'd done that IFF mission, one mission later, like, you go do one more mission after that, and then this happens, regardless of your progress in the game.
That's why it's always a good idea to get everything done beforehand. So they couldn't build him no robot legs.
Yeah, that's true. It is, like, his entire skeletal structure, like, he just has, like, brittle bone syndrome, essentially, doesn't he?
Still.
But, like, I'm sure some kind of exoskeleton or something would help.
I'm sure there's something that's better than just not wearing anything.
Yeah, right. There's some kind of... You would imagine there's some level of support that could be offered to help him out. Rather than
Keep it
just
in mind.
him needing to either struggle around everywhere or have, you know, somebody like Shepard just literally,
Fusion plant offline.
you know, give them a
Activating
hand to
emergency
move every time they
HTML
need to.
cells.
Right, keeping in mind that the person you last recruited is a robot.
Cerberus reinforced his bones and he wears leg braces. I mean, he's still not
All right, I'm at
a great percent of okay,
Connect the
right?
core
Like,
to the Normandy's primary control module.
Great. See, this is where it starts. When we're just all organic batteries, guess who they'll blame? This is all Joker's fault. What a tool he was. I have to spend all day computing pi because he plugged in the Overlord.
yeah, I do love that though, of just this moment of the entire time. Joker's, bear in mind, completely
access
not
to the
trusted
defensive
ED
systems.
and AI.
Thank you, Mr. Moreau.
And she's
Now
gone,
you
look,
must
shit's hit the
reactivate
fan.
primary drive
Please
and
give me
engineering.
complete access to
You
the
wanna go
ship.
crawling through the ducts again.
I enjoy the sight of humans on their knees. That is a joke.
Right.
It's such a fucking good joke by Edie,
Good
though.
luck.
Yeah.
I've just turned around and he's like, "Are you gonna make me crawl around again?" And Edie, the AI, has the audacity to be, "I like watching humans crawl around on their knees." It's like, oh, Edie, when did you get so sassy?
I love the idea that like one of the things that you give her access to is her personality files.
I mean,
It-
that would be a cool, like, that's a cool theory, yeah.
It's well, because it's from this point is that she starts telling jokes. Like she is.
Like, that very one, like, that one moment, and all of a sudden she made a joke. The second after that happened, yeah.
Yeah. So it's my personal headcanon that one of the things that you unlock is the ability for her to learn.
It's like the
So
Terminator 2 thing, right?
Like the Terminator, yeah. Where she now, because the instant you give her access to her full capability, she immediately starts making jokes.
Engineering is clear of hostiles.
Fair.
Proceed immediately to minimize
Yeah, we haven't done
chances
much of talking to AED in this game, to be fair, because I always, you know, found her to be pretty dry. But fair, like, she does have the capacity to make jokes earlier
Hostiles
on.
are returning. You must
I didn't
reactivate
notice
the
it, that's
primary
for
drive
sure.
before it is too late.
They have like the energy of an old married couple. Basically, it's just like, give me my gun, get me my gun.
Oh wait, oh no. Did I do something wrong? Was this meant to happen? No, we did something wrong. We got caught. I don't remember this thing happening. Yeah, because it's constantly like easy making comments and Joker just being, oh, for fuck's sake!
Is it making you do the whole thing?
The whole thing!
No way.
Ah!
Here's a pro tip: video games don't do this.
Oh my god, what is that?
I've never met someone who likes this.
No. So, like, if anyone knows what I just did wrong, let me know. Did I just not go down the steps quickly enough, or was I not meant to go down the steps? I'm gonna have to just pay closer attention to
I'll be
what
quiet.
gets said when that moment happens.
Multiple hostiles detected on the crew deck.
You gotta wait for him to go through the door, so stay up top. Thank you.
Stay close. I'll protect you.
I like this guy as well. I'll protect you, and then that happens. Like perfect comedy timing.
Main fusion plant offline. Activating emergency H fuel cells.
What the shit? All right, I'm at.
Oh yeah, what was I watching the other day?
Connect the core to the Normandy's primary control.
Like, I
module.
didn't realize the Scientist Solarian thing was not a unique song.
Guess who they'll blame? This is all Joker's fault. What a
No,
fool
it's
he
yeah,
was. I had to spend all day
it's a
computing
variation
why
of
he plugged in the Overlord.
an old like science song. I think they sing it in. There's a person who can. I think it's Daniel Radcliffe
I have access
sings
to the
it.
defensive
Something.
systems.
Right, because
Thank you,
I
Mr.
know that
Morrow.
we were
Now you
watching
must reactivate the
Ghosts,
primary drive in engineering.
and it's like there's a ghost that's like a military
I enjoy the
general.
sight of humans
When
on
he
their
started
knees.
singing like a military version
That is a
of
joke.
Right.
Scientist
Behind the
Solarian,
fence, the engineering deck.
Yeah, I don't know what the name of the song is. Like,
and I was like,
It
wait,
also happens in
what
Star
is
Trek.
that? And I was like, oh, that's Scientist Solarian, but he's not singing Scientist Solarian. He's singing like an English military version of that tune.
yeah, there's a version in Star Trek where one of the characters sings it. Like
Right,
Geordie
yeah.
sings it. Where it's like about being an engineer.
Engineering.
Because like the
They are
first
heading
time I
towards
was
the cargo
exposed to it, major model of a modern major general. Right.
Yeah, it's like an old like song tongue twister.
Yeah, my first exposure to the song, and up until now, my probably only exposure was.
Engineering is clear of
Specifically-
Activate the drive and I will open the airlocks.
Ah,
as we
here we go. This
accelerate.
is what I missed, I
All
think.
hostiles will be killed.
What? What about the
Um,
crew?
They are gone, Jeff. The collectors took them.
Yeah, the crew of fucked Joker,
Shit.
like the Gilbert. And
I also like
stuff.
from this point as well. She calls you Jeff. Starts calling him Jeff.
I have control.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't heard it in a long time, at least, because I will have heard that song from Barney and The Simpsons, right? But yeah,
Purge is complete. No other life forms on board.
God, that's so
Securing
rough.
airlocks and cargo bay doors.
Just no one's alive on board.
So Joker's like, okay, so download 48 terabytes of space pornography. Open up Shepard's office, and I want to go in.
It's very,
Message to Shepard shuttle.
you know, convenient of them to arrive just as
Message away. Are
Shepard
you feeling
and
well,
all of the entire crew have been on a shuttle together. Is it this one time we won't decide who to take
But
now?
thanks for asking.
We'll all get on the shuttle and decide later who we're going to take on the mission. Oh man, I do love that as an option in FTL of just like, just open up everything. What? Open up the air duct and just open every door. Just suck the oxygen out of this bitch. Like, what?
Everyone and damn near lost the ship.
You
too.
should be able to do that at any
No,
point. There
I
should be the
was
option to
here.
do that right
It's
from the
not
very
his
start of
fault,
the game.
Miranda.
I think in FTL there essentially is that
Taylor is
option
correct.
forever.
The harmful data in the collector drive was even more sophisticated than the black box Reaper viruses I was given.
That's why FTL's so great. Just at any point, you can basically just be like, fuck it, just... we don't need oxygen.
So we kind of need the crew back because who's going to check my emails?
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, we're all renegade, but we like to be nice to the crew. I'm going to check in on Joker. Like, because that's the thing. Okay, yeah. What the fuck, Joker? We lost the entire crew. Okay, you were all fucking gone. I can barely walk. I at least saved the ship. What was I meant to do? Like, the fact that it's like...
I heard it was a rough ride. How you holding
What
up?
the fuck is
There's a lot of
Joker
empty
meant
chairs
to
in
do
here.
against an entire army of collectors?
Could, Jeff.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
We can't do that. We need to
It's
get the
time we
crew
bump
back.
up our trip to the collector
Yeah.
homeworld.
Renegade, but
IFF
not a
is
total
cleaning
dick,
online.
exactly.
With Edie hooked in, we can go through the Omega-4 relay anytime we want.
Don't even get me started about unshackling a damned AI.
Well, what can I do against collectors? Break my arm at them? Edie cleared the ship. She's all right.
I assure
It's
you,
okay.
I am
It's okay.
still bound by
You don't need
protocols
to.
in my
It's all
programming.
good.
Even if I were not, you are my crewmates.
Oh no.
Like how...
Oh no. Just like, because we generally came on the agreement of like, renegade for the most part means we're fucking renegade for life. Until it comes into crew conversations where renegade means telling your entire team that you're equipment, not crew.
After the whole argument we just had about, like, do the guests deserve sentience, it's like, Edie is very clearly sentient.
Mm-hmm. It's like we treat our crew with respect, and Edie is a member of that crew, not just being like your equipment.
Although as well, she'd probably not give a shit if you said that. She'd just say like, okay, opening airlocks again. What?
So all systems, including the IFF,
She just opens up the airlock for a fourth
Sounds like we
time.
have everything we need to rescue the crew.
We've done everything we can. It's time to take the fight to the collectors.
Does this Edie have a soul? Like, goddamn yes. So yeah, we've done everything we can. It's time to take the fight to the collectors. And here is the point where you can go, not quite yet. I've got loyalty missions to do.
And they fuck you up because the longer you wait, the more of your crew. It's like every mission you do, like another member of your crew gets
But
like.
the game decides to not tell you that until you go take the collectors on, and then everyone's like, "Wait, what? There was an actual timer on this shit."
Well, that's what happened in Final Fantasy. That enemy I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
It has an internal timer, and if it goes all the way to 0, it just insta kills you. And there's things you can do to decrease it, things you can do to increase it.
It's like in Remake with the Bahamut fight, right? Of like you can
Oh, yeah,
interrupt it while it's counting down, but for the most part, it just every now and then it's just going to be like 3. What do you mean 3? 2. And it's just like every like minute, Bahamut just goes 1. What is Bahamut counting down to? Oh, obviously, it's like Mega Player. And just, yeah, you come out here and it's like, oh shit, yeah, just everyone's gone.
All this proves, though, is that they probably weren't doing good jobs because we were able to run the ship without them. Like, you know, Edie does it all, doesn't she? Yeah,
Edie does it all, and like, you know, you could argue, for example, in a pirate ship, right? Of like, I'm sure with a skeleton crew, you could still get to a destination.
Of course, yeah.
But
like,
everything wouldn't
like,
be
okay.
running efficiently, and you wouldn't be like prepared for, you know, battle at any moment or anything like that. Let's have a chat with Edie, yeah.
Oh yeah, she like unhooks her mind, so like she doesn't get told that you're not allowed to play that anymore. You could basically just, I think she's up front, right?
Good shot.
She's up front with Joker.
Well, we can just talk to Edie here, can't we?
Oh, okay, I thought she was up front with Joker. Like, you know what? I don't want Joker listening. Fuck you.
In addition to interfacing with the FTL comm network.
Can't believe he didn't fight off all those collectors himself.
Communicator linked to the elusive
Fucking
man-
coward.
Imagine if suddenly it turned into Devil May Cry
even
3.
when you operate off the comm grid.
Joker was just doing like fucking Royal Guard. It's that hard. It's like I never told you who my father was, did I? Who the legendary Dark Knight's father?
Is that
Yeah,
a maybe brittle, but if you can't do any damage to me, Just if I
He just
perfect
gets
Barry every single hit.
He just gets these crutches out and starts using them like Agni and Rudra.
Okay.
Logging you
You
out,
can't have a
Shepard.
proper conversation with Edie here.
To be fair, this is the place where you send emails. It does mean though that Edie's watching you use the toilet now, so I don't like that.
Thing is, Edie was always watching. Should we maybe actually also just ask Joker, are you okay?
Commander.
Ask him
Sorry
again.
about the crew, and you know what? I'm not sorry.
So,
What the hell
bro?
were you doing leaving us out here where collectors can work us over? Because you know what? I should just go. Next port, just get the hell out of here.
You don't mean that, Jeff.
No, but it felt good.
Okay, what is with this like aggression from Joker?
I mean, the thing is, yeah, okay, we can't really operate the ship at the moment. You guys all just go take the shuttle. And then all of a sudden, next thing, it's like, why the fuck would you leave us on our own? It's like, you're the one who told us to, Joker.
It's also as well, what would we have done?
Yeah. I mean,
If we
you
weren't
say
on our
that,
ship,
but
then-
have you met Shepard?
That's fair, yeah. Like, if Grunt was here, Grunt would have been in his element.
If you need some time, let me know.
Ah, jeez, don't get like that. I know I got lucky. I don't need you to get all touchy-feely.
Shepard is right to be concerned.
So technically we don't need you now because Edie can just steer the ship on her own.
That's what pills are for, Edie. She is so my mom.
I notice you're calling Edie her and she now.
This is weird though as well because Joker ends up in like a pseudo
It is not worth
relationship with Edie, but he starts by calling her his mom.
Yeah.
Like, their relationship is so weird.
Because, like, they're flirting, but then he's also like, shut up, mum. And he's like,
I think you're taking a human.
he's clearly not the most well-adjusted human being.
With you, Commander. No need to get all unnatural on me.
What Jeff and I are exhibiting is more a platonic symbiosis than hormonally induced courtship behavior.
Okay, yeah, that was a little creepy.
Edie's replaced the whole
There
crew.
we go.
You're not concerned she can replace you too?
Well, she's amazing, but there's something off about how she handles the Normandy. We ran simulations.
There we go.
It's better when we both have the helm.
Yeah.
Calculating an
It's better
optimal
having a
course of action is
co-pilot
simple.
situation.
If two AI weapons are pitted against each other, the one with superior hardware will always win. Human misjudgments defy predictive models.
License to screw up, Commander. You heard it straight from the ship.
And, of course, obviously, the always, like, argument is, well, an AI wouldn't have the capabilities to do something that's unpredictable.
Not to mention that the choices that it make are informed by pure logic, and as a result, in a way, like I said, predictable, but also might make decisions that would not be beneficial to the whole, like, you know, opening up the doors and sucking out the entire crew.
I mean, that was the most beneficial thing at the time, right?
Yeah, like, you know, a human might not think of that because it's just one of those things like, why would I ever do that?
But in terms of piloting the ship, like, why Joker still needs to be here is that, well, would Edie think of pulling off a move where, you know, the shit that he does at the end of Mass Effect, where he does, like, the full, like, fly up into the air to do the 180 cool ass shot through, like, the bow of the ship?
I don't think anything's ever topped, like, just the first Halo game with Fohammer. Like, Fohammer might be the greatest fictional, like, spaceship pilot, because she's the one who, like, leads the aerial assault underground. And you even hear a soldier go, they'll never expect it. Who's
It's
gonna
like
expect...
taking the helicopter on the subway.
Yeah, I just love the way that, like, a soldier just goes, it's the last thing they'll expect, an aerial assault underground. It's like, it's so true. You don't expect to see a helicopter underground.
Yeah, like, just one of the most memorable times of ever playing Grand Theft Auto was just literally going, I can get that helicopter in that subway tunnel.
The thing is, you did.
That you can, but it doesn't go very well afterwards.
I just remember that you doing it, and then you were like, look, I did it, and then we just heard the train. Like, just like with almost like perfect beat for beat comedy timing. It's like, oh, and the panic in your voice. It's like, no.
Oh dear God! But like, the other moment I think of in terms of just space piloting or space maneuvering is the, like, you know, awesome fucking idea in it's in The Last Jedi, isn't it? When they just warp drive through the Star Destroyer.
It's so funny that they have to again, we talked about it earlier, of like they have to retcon it out of the Star Wars universe, because the question then becomes, why did the disposable droid army not do that shit every day? Like,
why was that not tactic number one every time?
Like when the Empire had a disposable droid army and then an unlimited amount of like clone troopers who they don't give a fuck
Why
about.
aren't they just sending out fleets of starfighter, like TIE fighters, to just start doing that shit day one?
And then they said, no, that was a 1 in a million chance. It's like, well, do you know what? The Empire's got 1 billion fucking stormtroopers. Which to me sounds like, you know, a 1 in a million chance now becomes they could do it 1,000 times.
Exactly, yeah. Oh dear.
But that third Star Wars sequel movie is just 90% of it is just them putting the finger up to Rian Johnson.
It really is.
Like everything interesting he introduced in his movie, they undo in like one shitty conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what about the holdo maneuver? You're not allowed to do that. It's a 1 in a million chance. What about lightsabers? I thought they weren't important. No, they're the most important thing in the universe. I thought Rey was nobody. No, she's actually a Palpatine.
Yeah, she's the most important person ever.
It's so stupid. Here we go. Tell me some shit. Tell me some secret shit.
Shielding on that shit, which allowed it to happen. Again, yeah, just bollocks that they have to write in to just be like, oh, we could never do that again. It only worked that one time, never try it again.
It only worked that one time because it was easy enough to aim. So I wonder if there was like a time in the previous films when there was like a big target and it was like a literal like universe obliterating threat. Like a Death Star, maybe.
Maybe.
It is
The
Star
size of a
Killer
small
base
planet.
that is literally an entire planet.
Yeah, I wonder if they could do it to that.
It's armor, my skin.
But every ship they own is light speed enabled, so every ship is now like a nuclear missile.
Imagine if you'd
Oh yeah, it's my favourite line. You ready?
One day someone takes them off. You can finally touch the world. Feel it.
That's a good line. Oh, yeah, imagine just one day you could just actually sense your senses all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like she's been wearing she's basically just been shackled. That's what they got, shackled behind.
Along with Joker.
Jeff and I have established
Met you and Joker.
working relationship.
Do you want to put his penis in the exhaust port or something?
That's a little sketchy on details.
I am the Normandy. He is a skilled helmsman. I trust him to keep me operational. He trusts me to keep him alive.
Plus, she's less of a pain about downtime now that the Cerberus locks.
The best bit is he can hear this, but he's not allowed to interject.
Distractions, though some of your extranet bookmarks are technically illegal in council space.
What?
That is a joke.
I love that. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty chill, but I look through your search history, Joker, and there's some dodgy shit in there.
My favourite bit is that's like, you know, it's your girlfriend catching you watching porn.
What do you do aboard the ship?
And then she's just joking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But your girlfriend is a
My
giant
reaction
shit.
time is much faster than any organic. I collate the
That's
records
true.
of shipboard
Like,
monitoring
yeah, when you're
devices
like
for the elusive man.
trapped inside
I've
the
also gained
tractor
access
beam
to anti-reaper
that's literally
cyber warfare
locking you on
algorithms
target with
covered by Cerberus.
the Death Star. At that point, you basically like, well, the Emperor's going to kill me anyway. Why don't I just warp drive right now? And I'm sure that, again, there's some lore explanation. Like, well, technically, the moment that you're, like, stuck inside the tractor beam, then all of your, like, warp drive systems are disabled too, or some bollocks. And it's like, yeah.
It's what we talked about earlier, like the whole turning your lightsaber on off thing. There is an explanation for it, but it's a stupid one.
Mm-hmm.
And it only exists because the universe is, like, so flimsy. The universe falls apart with the slightest bit of...
The only reason it exists is to make things less interesting.
Yeah.
Like, the only reason, like, that excuse exists and that lore exists is to make lightsaber fights less fun.
Yep. It's because George Lucas wanted them to be swords. He never realised he made swords that he can turn off, and he never treats them any differently to a sword.
He realised that he did, but he never thought that part through.
Yeah, it's like, that's why sometimes lightsabers turn on instantly.
Cyber warfare means things like
and sometimes they'll, like, you know, turn on very slowly, like you know, a samurai.
And, like,
A samurai shooting their sword.
Once I seize control of their system,
Even though that makes
I
no
can turn off
sense. Like, why
gravity
would
or
they
air.
turn on different
I can
speeds?
disable weapons guidance or shields.
Christ.
Or I can put their fusion plant in meltdown. On the defense, I manage Normandy's own
I love
suite
the
of
idea.
jammers,
The moment that
decoders,
I
and internal
like get
firewalls.
inside any other ship, I can just turn off gravity and oxygen like it's nothing.
But in Star Wars, they say that's not allowed.
Yeah, and obviously, like, the whole retcon thing for Leia and Luke of like,
That was so funny.
just okay. Well, why did they kiss
That's all
each
for
other?
now.
Well,
Logging you out, Shepard.
didn't actually like no. But then in Return of the Jedi, they still say, "I always kind of had a feeling of close connection to you. That's why we mistook it for romance." It's like, ooh, it's still creepy though.
The only reason it happened is just because Harrison Ford was way more charismatic.
Right.
Is that
fair. Like
you know,
they
Mark
had a better
Hamill,
chemistry between them.
Mark Hamill is a good actor, but he's not as good an actor as Harrison Ford. It's that simple.
Maybe not a good as an actor is not the right way to like phrase it. I think he's
not
as much
charismatic an actor.
of like that. He doesn't have that natural charisma,
Yeah, he doesn't have like leading man energy.
but he obviously. Oh shit!
So
I didn't realize
So,
it was
like,
like, oh, it's the suicide mission.
oh, okay. In which case, then maybe we should save this for next time.
Yeah, let's do like one last big stream of doing the suicide mission.
So I think as someone in chat said, you can do like one more mission and that's fine.
But like
Like,
the
you get
only
away
mission
doing
we've
one.
got left to do is meant to be the really bad DLC or like really boring DLC.
In which case, maybe just go around the galaxies getting some like resources.
We can just we can do everyone's favorite before we end.
Just probe Uranus.
Let's do it, Karl. But I thought there was like a couple of missions, but it's like no, it's literally launch the suicide mission. And that's probably right why like so many people get caught in that whole thing of, well, I'll just go clean up everything and then
Seeing the words like go onto the suicide mission really like suggests like this might be the last mission in the game.
Mm-hmm. It's local cluster, isn't it? Is it local cluster?
I think so. I think that's the one.
Here it is, yeah. Maybe you have probed it already, but we can continue to probe it.
No stopping you. Do what you want. But I do like though if you read like these little descriptions of it as well. They talk about what happened as humans like just slowly spread throughout the galaxy.
You gotta let Edie do the thing, Karl.
Probing Uranus.
Like she said the thing.
Probe launched. Probe away.
Right, yeah.
Probe away.
So like actually gets progressively more noise.
Get one thing, but it's just like, yeah. Like, most people, though, probably didn't realize that when pressing, like, launch IFF. And then they just went, okay, well, we can go do the suicide mission, but we'll go and, like, clean up all the DLC and side missions we got. We'll go and, like, figure out, and then you just get to the suicide mission, it's like, oh, yeah, you realize that you fucked up, right? It's like,
It also sucks as well because it means that you get Legion for literally one mission.
Yeah.
You can take them on to all the missions, but if you do, you'd be losing your crew. So you get a choice of which one mission you want to take Legion on, unless you want to like do them all and get the worst ending.
It's just like, you know, one of those fucked up things of like, I guess we'll just go over here. But that's the thing, we don't even need the resources. I hope that's not going to walk straight in. Like, there's just...
You fly around and do donuts.
I genuinely thought it was like, oh, it launches you into like one collector mission here, and then you do something else here. But it's like, no, just fuck you, you go do the final mission now. But yeah,
It does suck for your crew as well. It's like, I hope Shepard's going to come rescue us soon.
Well, I guess one last thing while people are still here to mention is that tomorrow we haven't decided totally where what Zelda game we're playing. So like the last votes can come in tonight over on my Discord of like at the moment. See if there's been more votes on this. At the moment, just the original Legend of Zelda is ahead with like 3 votes to a couple of other 2s. But just yeah, go over to the original like Discord on the first of the 2 links. If anyone wants to vote for what Zelda game we are going to be playing tomorrow, you can click on that Discord link, go to Stream Ideas, and just vote for which Zelda game we're going to be playing through. Twilight Princess we've already played through. So we're going through the entire series and not going back to any ones that we've like previously played. And more than likely, what's going to happen is we're going to get to the end of all the games and just start doing all of them again. Because it's not, you know, by the time that like, you know, I finished playing through all these games, it's going to have been years since we went through Breath of the Wild, right? But currently in the lead, the original Legend of Zelda, then we got Zelda 2, Oracle of Seasons, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, and Skyward Sword. Last thing, yeah, Phantom Hourglass, we have not played through yet. Skyward Sword we haven't played through yet, which is the most modern one we haven't played through, but yeah, we still haven't done like the actual original Legend of Zelda. Yeah, every single mainline Zelda game that isn't one of like the multiplayer ones is on the table. We're going to go through every single game one by
It's like
one.
a while.
So yeah, we have done Twilight Princess already, but we've got 6 Zelda games left to play, and 2 of them are Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, which I'm not, memory serves, I'm not overly thinking like, you know, I have the best memories of those in terms of like the most fun and fond memories. But this is the purpose of going through all of the games, is that I would like to actually have a up-to-date opinion on every single Zelda game, and not what I remember from when they launched 20 years ago. So yeah, it's been an interesting adventure so far, and the one thing, like, the Theoretical Drunk CDI watch-along, like, maybe one of those things one day. I also think, like, after that, it might be interesting to play. I can't remember what the game is called. I think it might be, like, RZ, I think. But basically, I can't remember whether that's the right game or is this a different game that I'm thinking of. There is a game that has been made of... Here's a game created to be in the style of those Zelda CDI games. But
Yeah,
like a fun game to actually be able to play, not a completely unplayable mess. It's like, it's meant to be in the style of those CDI games, actually a decent game to play. Which is very interesting. And also, yeah, we will do the suicide mission, but then we will be doing Mass Effect 3 like when we hit the sub goal. So there may be like a couple of weeks or whatever break between Mass Effect Mondays, where we just go play some, like, you know, other random games that we feel like playing, maybe do community night or something like that. We'll see what happens, but the sub goal right now, we're on 33 out of 50, and when we hit that 50th sub goal, then we will commit to Mass Effect 3, just because, you know, it's one of those things of like, sub goals are a thing. I know, like, I don't particularly like doing them, but it's all part of the game, I'm afraid. But yeah, like, also gives Karl an excuse to not just be committed to me every single Monday night necessarily.
I don't mind it, it's fun.
It is fun, but yes, you know, as I say, it's not like Monday nights will go away. They just might not be Mass Effect Mondays for a little bit if we don't hit that sub goal. But that sub goal is not a temporary sub goal. There's no time limit on it. It's just when we hit it, and then the Monday after we hit it, we will start Mass Effect 3. And then, you know, the sub goal to play Mass Effect Andromeda might be higher, because I might actually have to pay Karl to convince him to sit down and play through that one.
I'm not interested.
I'm not particularly interested. That's the thing, is that Mass Effect 3, I can sit here and go, Karl, wouldn't it be fun to play through that? But both of us are kind of just like, Oh, and then there's Andromeda. I don't overly want to commit or play that one. Like, that might have to be a sub goal of like, oh, get someone come in and gift us 500 subs and we'll split it and play through Mass Effect or Andromeda. I am, of course, joking. I don't want to be like that nasty, but
I just have no affinity or nostalgia for it, so I won't find it interesting.
and that's the thing, like, there's probably a lot of interesting kernels to find within there, but I just don't know whether I'm willing to, like, sift through a wet fart to find it. And that's, I don't necessarily think it's an awful bad game. I did play the first 5-10 hours. It's just, it's not, you know, made by the same team in terms of, like, the writers and stuff like that, and you can clearly tell that the story and the characters feel a lot weaker in it. All of the characters I do care about are not there anymore, which is exactly why they're just pretending like it didn't happen and going back to Mass Effect 4 following Shepard's story. And just, yeah, it's not necessarily like I want to sit here and say it's the worst game ever, but it was just a letdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the technical aspects of it, of like the weird animations, the rubber face looking people, just like the clear just EA trying to push this shit out the door before it was ready. And yeah, they did do patches to it, but they only patched it to a certain amount because the game sold like nothing. So it's just one of those weird things of, it's the classic EA, isn't it? Where they push a game out too early, or they push a game out to die and whatever. And then it's like, well, this isn't our fault. Clearly, just it's all your guys' fault. It's the Eric Andre meme, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of just, putting out a game to die and then blaming the public for not buying it.
But it's also like left such a poor taste in your mouth. Like, even if you say they fixed it, but the initial experience I had was not great, and there's many other things I would rather do with my time, and that does include not playing that game.
Yep, and there's very few examples in gaming of putting out a game that was maligned at launch and actually being able to turn that ship around. There are examples. I'm a big Destiny player. You know, it happens with some games, but it's generally most games don't come back from a poor launch. Yeah, I'm gonna head off now. Thank you all for joining. We'll be back tomorrow, potentially with The Legend of Zelda, but I will leave the votes overnight to just let people get a few more votes in, because there's not much in at the moment. So, like, you know, literally a couple of votes could swing the favour. So I'm not going to commit to anything now, but just a heads up that we need to decide a game for tomorrow, which Zelda game it is. But other than that, I hope everyone has a lovely day, evening, or night, wherever you are. Thank you, everyone.
Cheers, everybody.